Yesterday's doubleheader had its ups and downs for the green and gold. The matinee was all A's as Rich Hill continued his dominance away from home. The offense then rattled off 15 hits, scoring 8 runs, and the A's took game 1 of the doubleheader. In the nightcap, Chris Davis showed off his power, and Ubaldo Jimenez had his best start of the year as he mowed down the Athletics, and the O's took game 2. Today, it's the rubber game from beautiful Camden Yards. Bob Melvin and the boys will go for the series win as this 9-game East Coast trip continues. It's the A's and the Orioles, and it's coming up next. It is a beautiful day for baseball. Lots of sunshine in Baltimore as we get set for the rubber game of the series. A huge day yesterday for Josh Reddick, and today Kendall Graveman will try to get the A's that series win. Third and final game, it's the A's and the Orioles coming up on CSN California. Hi again, everybody, and welcome to Oakland A's Baseball along with Ray Fosse. I'm Glenn Kuiper, and we'd both like to wish the mothers out there a very, very happy Mother's Day. And Josh Reddick has made his mom happy in this series. 7 for 9 yesterday, and man, he's starting to spray the ball all over the field, and he's become such a smart hitter, Ray.
How about 7 hits and a doubleheader? That was outstanding for him yesterday. He really started with a simple bunt after striking out in his first at bat. He bunted. That opened up a great day for him using the whole field. I think what you're going to see here is how the shift is no longer being employed by him, at least from the Orioles. That ball up the middle beat the shift, but a little bit later, look at this ground ball. Normally you have a second baseman or right field, normal position, he gets a base hit. He used the whole field. He comes up with 7 hits. Unfortunate nightcap when he got 4. The A's could not pick up the victory, but a great day for Josh Reddick.
Yeah, he's now a .377 career hitter here in this ballpark. Pitching matchup, Kendall Graveman and Chris Tillman today. Graveman has lost his last 2 starts, and Chris Tillman has really become the anchor of this rotation.
You know, from the standpoint of Kendall Graveman, you look at his first 3 starts, 29 ground ball outs, just 12 in his last 2. To me, that's the biggest difference. Yes, he's throwing a cut fastball, but he has to have the sinker working to be effective. For Chris Tillman, he definitely is the main guy on this staff for Buck Showalter. Showalter knows he can send him out while he may not get a lot of support. He's a great pitcher. The A's know they're facing a tough, at least they're familiar with him as they were last night with Jimenez.
All right, so there's your pitching matchup, and a big crowd is expected today here at Camden Yards on what is a gorgeous day for baseball. So we'll have lineups and first pitch from Baltimore in just a minute. It's the rubber game of the series. It's the A's and it's the Orioles. Stick around. at Oriole Park at Camden Yards, and lots of sunshine, and the good folks of Baltimore have not seen a lot of sunshine this spring, but they're getting it today. Game time weather presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. Boardwalk is open. Visit beachboardwalk.com for park hours. 69 degrees. It's breezy, but it is very nice out. A warm spring day here on the East Coast, so we're glad about that after all the rain we got on Friday. Long day at the ballpark yesterday. Ended up a split of the doubleheader. Now for the third and final game of the series, this is Bob Melvin's lineup for the Athletics. It'll start with Billy Burns. Billy Burns is in center field, and Mark Canha in left. Josh Reddick's in right. Jed Lowry will DH today. Stephen Vogt is your catcher. Danny Valencia is at third. Yonder Alonso at first. Chris Coglin will play second base today, and Marcus Semien is the shortstop.
And the veteran right-hander Chris Tillman, the tall one, on the mound for the Baltimore Orioles. 3-1 on the season. He's pitched well, making his 7th start. Good fastball, mid-90s, also a good cut fastball, and you will see a lot of those 2 pitches from this right-hander. He also will feature a curveball and a changeup. A good pitcher, and you're seeing some different uniforms, especially from the Athletics today. Steve Vucinich, the A's equipment manager, has done a great job outfitting his whole team.
He did it all by himself?
Well, he accepted the 34 boxes and then distributed it to the players.
First pitch of the game is a strike to Billy Burns, so we're underway from Camden Yards. Billy Burns at 276. He's got 3 RBIs. He's got 29 hits on the year, 3 doubles and a couple of triples. And he's got 8 stolen bases. Burns yesterday was 3 for 9 in the doubleheader, and he scored a run.
Saw a lot of the players yesterday with the day-night doubleheader wearing pink shoes, or especially the shoes, because they said I got to make sure they feel okay when I put them on for the game.
Scope on the backhand, quick throw to first, not in time, and Billy Burns opens up the ball game with an infield hit.
Pink shoes made him fast. Oh, he's actually got his real shoes on. Pink sanitaries, and jumped to the bag, just barely got there before the ball reached the glove of Davis. And as we've said, anytime an infielder has to go right or left, it makes it difficult to throw out the speedy Billy Burns, so he gets another infield hit. He had a bunch last year, and he will always have many because of the way the infielders have to play him.
So here's Mark Canha. Mark Canha getting a start today in left field. So Chris Davis had a tough day yesterday. He's going to get the day off. Coco Crisp will get the day off.
The other A's Chris Davis.
Yeah,
right.
The A's Chris Davis.
Yeah, because there are 2 here, and the big guy at first base, I'd like to see him have a day off.
Chris with a K.
Yeah, right. I know.
Our Chris is with a K.
That's right.
Canha 132 is the average. He's got 5 hits and 38 at bats, but of those 5 hits, 3 of them are home runs.
And surprisingly, as we have talked about, all 3 to right field. So he uses the whole field, and right now big gap between first and second with Speedy Burns at first, and Trumbo, not particularly a strong throwing outfielder. He's played all over the infield, third especially, and the outfield, but likes right field.
And that hits Canha.
Take it like a man.
So the A's have 2 on, nobody out for their hottest hitter.
Good spot for Canha to be positioned in front of Josh Reddick, and there's nothing he could do. He being Canha with the ball up around his shoulders and basically taking one for the team.
Defensively for the Baltimore Orioles, Joey Rickard in left, Adam Jones in center, Mark Trumbo is in right. Ryan Flaherty, Manny Machado on the left side, Jonathan Scope, Chris Davis on the right side, Matt Wieters is behind the dish. So here is Reddick. First pitch to Reddick is blocked by Matt Wieters. Showed you in the open about the big day yesterday for Reddick, where he went 7 for 9. So thanks to that 7 for 9, his batting average is now over 300 at 301. Very good on base percentage.
And there's your defense, Cap. As we talked about, no shift for Josh Reddick because he has been using the whole field, and especially the ball past Davis last night into right field, and Normally that is a 4-3 with a right second baseman in shallow right field. So Reddick kind of getting the shift to get back to some normalcy, or at least the infield. Outfield shading him slightly to left field. And that's the reason why he is using the whole field, especially 14 up the middle.
Reddick to left field. He's done it again. Drops a single in front of Rickard. It'll get Billy Burns home. And 3 batters into the game. The A's have a 1-0 lead. And Josh Reddick is scalding hot. If you're an A's player and he's in the dugout, sit right next to him.
Well, and you know, for Mark Canha, again, if Bob Melvin did a very good job of positioning Canha there, because Reddick is so hot. What do? You're going to give Canha some pitches to hit. He's had success against Tillman that we'll talk about, but Josh Reddick is as hot as anybody in baseball right now, using the whole field. And there's another perfect example. Shooting it to left field, you pitch him away. He's not trying to pull it, and he goes the opposite field. So 3 batters. The A's have a 1-0 lead, looking for more.
Here's Lowry. 8 for 10 in the series, and you can stretch that out to the Wednesday game as well. He was 2 for 5 on Wednesday. So Reddick 10 for his last 15, and that one's hit towards shallow right center. Trumbo gets over there to make the catch. So Lowry is retired, and Stephen Vogt will hit. A's come in with a 14-17 record. Game number 32 on the schedule. Umpires today: Tim Timmons, Paul Emmel, Jordan Baker, and Mike Everett. With Timmons calling balls and strikes, Everett, the crew chief, is down at third.
How about that?
Yeah, everybody's honoring Mom today.
Got the pink wristbands on as well.
Look at the arm guard for Stephen Vogt. That is awesome.
You know, Type, I saw Sean Doolittle doing some conditioning, and I saw it on his left arm. I said, he doesn't have tattoos. And Melvin said the same thing. He said, I didn't know you would do that. And he said, that's just an arm sleeve, you know, elbow sleeve.
Yep.
But it looks like some of the drawings on bodies that we have seen.
And of course, the players, or some of the players, not all of them, but using the pink bats. Stephen Vogt has one of those, pink shoes, and those pink bats.
And the uniforms, those uniforms are specially made for today. The pink Oakland, got the elephant logo on the left sleeve, pink, name and number, everything. So Steve Vucinich, you get 34 boxes when you arrive in Baltimore, saying something.
High in the air to right center. Trumbo gets back there, circles around it. He's got it. And the throw back in almost gets away from Machado. He had to track it down. Canha tags and goes to third.
Well, Jed Lowry tried to advance the runner to third base, where that fly ball by Stephen Vogt would have driven in a run. But instead, it's a long out, and the A's have runners at first and third, trying to do a lot more and get just the 1 run.
So first and third now for Danny Valencia. 286 for Valencia with a couple of RBIs. Back in the lineup yesterday for the first time after being on the disabled list. He was 1 for 5. Played in game 1 of the doubleheader. Chance to knock in a run. The A's have a 1-0 lead. First pitch is a bit inside. Do want to tell you though that the pink bats are part of Louisville Slugger and Major League Baseball. We started doing this, it's the 11th year already, and going to bat against breast cancer. It started in 2006 to help support the fight against breast cancer. These bats get sold. Used bats get sold at an auction, and you can buy them at MLB.com.
Right. They will be authenticated. Yeah. And if you remember 6 years ago on Mother's Day, not the exact date, Dallas Braden pitched the perfect game at the Coliseum, and Dominic, the Major League Baseball authenticator, was busy. I mean, he had to authenticate everything because you're right, they are sold at auction to help support breast cancer, and finding a cure.
So go to MLB.com. All the proceeds, or the net proceeds, go to Major League Baseball charities in support of the fight against breast cancer.
Well, you hear a lot of great stories and stories about how baseball players, and they have mothers that cancer survivors, and you have a big day and choose something to their mother on Mother's Day after they have the big day.
2-2 the count.
Well, this was it for Danny Valencia against the big man. Tillman to right center field. Danny Valencia, fourth. Remember the Athletics, and did a good job going to the opposite field. And Valencia swinging the bat wall there, and in this park the ball does carry, and something he'd like to do again, at least nothing else, to get a base hit, to get another run in. Only his second game since returning from the disabled list.
So 2-2 the count. And Tillman delivers, and it's chopped behind the mound. Tillman can't see it. It's going to be a hit. It's going to be a run. You could see Tillman backpedaling off the backside of the mound. And he put his hand up to try to block the sun. So have you ever seen somebody lose a ground ball in the sun? Because that's what just happened.
That's what happened. Hit off the plate. And again, for Mark Canha tagging, going to third base, he doesn't score if he's still at second. So he scores the second run, but this ball off the plate, and Tillman shading his eyes with his hands, couldn't find it. No way for Machado to come in and make the play, as Danny Valencia gets down the line quickly enough to drive in a run and give the A's their second. So the hit batter does score, and get greedy and try to get more. All the more reason to try to get the extra base when you can, and especially on a fly ball deep enough.
Here's Alonso, seventh man to bat in this first inning. The A's have scored twice. 2-0-2 for Alonso. He's got a homer. He's got 6 RBIs, and he was 3 for 5 yesterday with 3 walks. So he had a good series, or a good doubleheader, I should say. The A's getting to Chris Tillman early. Tillman has been pitching well. Before today, his last 3 starts, just 3 earned runs in 19 2/3 innings. A couple of wins and a no decision with 22 strikeouts in those 19 innings. And that one is line fair. It's going to score 1. Here comes Valencia. They're waving him home, and there's going to be a play at the plate. The throw is there, and they got him. Now Valencia was running hard the whole way, and a couple of real good throws, well executed. He gets thrown out, but Reddick scores on the play to make it 3-0.
Check the scoop by Matt Wieters. This is a tough play. Caught it, made the tag, and an out. And that's a throw, a great relay, but an exceptional play by Matt Wieters, the catcher, to get the out.
But a good first inning for the A's as they score 3 times on 4 hits. 3-0 after half an inning. It's thrown out at home, but a good top of the first for the Athletics. Now here come the Baltimore Orioles. Joey Rickard will lead off. Then Machado, Davis, Jones, Trumbo, Wieters, Alvarez, Scope, and Flaherty. And the first pitch to Joey Rickard is in for a strike. So you saw that lineup. So the Orioles have really all the big boppers in there today. J.J. Hardy, of course, is on the disabled list. But it's as much power as they can probably put out there.
Kendall Graveman needs his sinker to work and get the ground ball out. And get a call like that, but he didn't get it. Boy, if you're a pitcher on the road, you haven't taken the mound, you got 3-run support before you take the mound, you're very happy.
3-1 now.
And the worst thing you can do is give up a run after the club scored you 3.
Rickard was 2 for 4 yesterday. He started one game, came in late in the other game, and it's a 3-1 pitch that's low.
Now for Graveman, just overthrowing a couple of pitches, and sometimes when a pitcher warms up, the bullpen comes to the dugout, and his club has an extended inning, which the A's did. A little bit sharpness goes away, but Kendall Graveman looking for his second win. He did defeat the New York Yankees in his 3rd start, and that was great because he had not won in about a year. So for Kendall Graveman, trying to do something on this trip and help the A's win the series before they go into Boston.
Rickard with his lead. First pitch to Machado to the backstop, and Rickard will go to second.
Stephen Vogt's going to say you're overthrowing. You can't get a sinker to sink if you overthrow it and pitch outside it. You just do not expect this as a catcher for a major league pitcher, and for Kendall Graveman to overthrow the pitch that much, Stephen Vogt could not get to it.
Defensively for the A's, it's Canna, Burns, and Reddick in the outfield. Valencia, Simeon, Coughlin, Alonso on the infield, with Vogt doing the catching. So now a runner in scoring position for Machado, and he takes inside 2-0.
Well, they've been all fastballs, and may see Stephen Vogt go to some off-speed pitch, and tougher to do 2-0, but he may at least call a cutter.
That one in for a strike. Chris Davis will be next, followed by Adam Jones. Hit well, right center field. Reddick on the move. Reddick near the wall. Gone.
Well, not a good start for Kendall Graveman. Gets a 2-0 fastball, but then elevates a 2-1 fastball after the strike was called, and this is the way the ball can carry. Hit very hard by Manny Machado, and he has power to all fields. He just showed it to right center. Reddick giving a great effort, but no chance. This is a shorter wall than at the Coliseum, but still it was high above the wall into the permanent seats.
Well, just like that, it's 3-2. There's the home run direction by Machado. That one to deep right center field. So home run number 8 for Machado. He now has 18 RBIs. And for the Orioles, their 38th home run on the year. They're 3rd in the American League in home runs hit.
Cap, we talk about sometimes the game speeds up on players, especially pitchers, and seems like if the one thing that Kendall could do is kind of slow down a little bit because everything is happening so quickly. It's like he wants to hurry up and throw 3 strikes in 1 pitch.
Well, hurry up and get back in the dugout.
Exactly. You have to make quality pitches, and to get a 3-run lead, and all of a sudden with 2 batters, it's now a 1-run lead with a dangerous hitter at the plate.
And that one a bit high, and Davis walks. This is how the top of the first ended, and it was a good inning for the A's. But you got to give the Orioles some credit here. They executed defensively very well on the relay.
Alonso doing well, going to the opposite field. The relay coming in, and this short hop handled nicely by Wieters. That could have very easily scooted past him, but instead he made an infielder's play, making a scoop, kept the glove right there for the tag on Valencia, and Valencia, as he was in New York, thrown out at the plate, this time on a great relay. Aaron Hicks got him in New York.
You know, you see there, Ray, too, is Machado. What he did was perfect. He moved toward home plate to get a good hop. So not only does he get a good hop, but he has momentum to throw home. He just moved his feet a little bit.
Yeah.
Got a nice one hopper, and then was able to have momentum going toward the throw to home. There's a strike to Jones.
It's like Stephen Vogt calling a lot of fastballs and hoping for a sinker for a ground ball, but one ball that's been hit in play has been in the air and it's gone the distance.
Could be two here. Simeon to Coughlin, and the turn, and it is a double play. Kendall Graveman badly needed that.
Well, he's a ground ball pitcher, as we said, and to get the ground ball, maybe that's something that can really help him. Nicely turned, 6-4-3, and returned by Coughlin after a good feed from Simeon. Turns it perfectly. Coughlin with a strong arm. He had Davis coming into him very, very quickly. Straight into the bag.
Well, there's the last two starts for Kendall Graveman. He's given up 10 hits in each one of his last two starts.
And 10 earned runs in those two starts, which gets the ERA up over 8. It's 4 2/3 in Detroit. They gave up 3 home runs, 2 to Miguel Cabrera.
It's interesting, Graveman too, breaking down right-handed hitters and left-handed hitters. Lefty's hitting 217, righty's hitting 350.
Well, that means the sinker to left-handers working, but to the right-handers maybe not as well, although throw a good sinker to Adam Jones for the double play.
So a base hit for Trumbo as he hits it hard past Valencia.
The 2 hits in this inning, the home run by Machado and the one by Trumbo, exact same spot. Look at the location of the fastball, where it was supposed to be and where it ended up. It won't sink when it's belt high, and that's the problem. Danny Valencia, the hard hit ball by Trumbo will get past him, but you elevate a fastball, and again, velocity is key, but velocity is not necessary if it's a sinker that goes down in the strike zone, because you beat the ball on the ground and you hope to get a double play.
Pitch to Wieters, just missed outside. Graveman made a couple starts last year against these Orioles. One at home, one on the road. This one's hit high in the air to shallow center. And Burns still coming in, and he makes the catch, side retired. So, little sun today. Keep an eye on that. Orioles grab 2 back, 3-2 after 1. T-Mobile. Transaction today by the A's. That is J.B. Wendelken. He is now a big leaguer with the Athletics. And when he gets in the game, it'll be his major league debut. Optioned out was Jesse Hahn. So Jesse Hahn back to AAA Nashville. Extra bullpen arm for the A's, J.B. Wendelken.
You know, it's too bad that Triggs had to go back. You know, he was brought up just for the one game. He only struck out the side last night in the 8th inning.
Did as much as he possibly could. Because you can't. Well, you could strike out 4, I guess.
Well, yeah,
pass
ball, wild pitch. But I mean, the A's did not have a strikeout for 6 innings, but Fernando Rodriguez comes in and Triggs, and they strike out 6 in a row. So a new lease on life for Chris Tillman. Ron Washington, you know, sometimes why would Ron Washington send Danny Valencia? It's tough to get 2-out hits, and the A's did it in back-to-back with Valencia and Alonso. And so, you know, figuring there's 2 would get 3. So you push the envelope. It took 2 perfect throws, and basically he got them. And as a result, the inning was over. But trying to make it a 4-run inning, and maybe even more after that. Give the Orioles credit.
3-0 pitch to Coghlan is right in that first round.
So Ron Washington with the index finger out, saying that's it, signed for take 1. Take a strike. So he took it. Now he's ready to hit.
So most signs, you know, hard to figure out, right? You don't want the other team to know what you're thinking. Taking a pitch, just hold up
one finger.
Yeah. Okay. Nothing sneaky there.
Then you have some hitters that say, I don't even look at the third base coach at 3-0. Figure I'm going to hit anyway.
Three-two pitch. Here it is. And it's fouled straight back.
Cut fastball on 3-2, and so Fernando Rodriguez last night throw his first pitch fastball and then a cutter, and all of a sudden he's throwing bullets, and the cutter got him extended, got him down in the strike zone, struck out the side. Great job by Fernando.
Just missed, and Coghlan has a leadoff walk.
Well, Triggs last night, they brought him up as a 26th player, and what a job he did out of the bullpen. And Bob Melvin said he's put himself on the map with that different angle. Arm release, and tough against righties. He got to lefties, a couple of them, and decided, hey, let's go to the home dugout.
Whoa!
Where am I going? Left to right turn, up out face.
Yeah, he tried to pull it off, and it just was not going to work.
But you know, he made his debut in Detroit, where the A's dugout was on the first base side, so it was just natural. You know, I'm in the big leagues again. Forget I'm in a different park. I'll just go to that dugout. And he was great, and I'm sure we're going to see him again. And sometimes, you know, just the arm angle, the way you throw the baseball, will get you a chance at the major league level, because it is a little bit different. You've got Darren O'Day here, of course, Joe Smith with the Angels, the down under relievers.
1-1 the count to Marcus Semien. Semien 216, but 8 home runs and 15 RBIs. His 8th home run yesterday. Swings through that one, 1-2. He's had 6 base runners already in this game off Chris Tillman. He had 4 hits and a hit batter in the first inning, and now Coghlan with the walk here in the second. In the air, right field line, and nobody's going to get it. All right, here's our Geico quote of the game. It is Andrew Triggs on walking toward the Orioles dugout. Quote, "The momentum after that last cutter carried me that way, and I was keeping my head down walking off the mound. I swear I've never done that in my life," so it was pretty funny. You get one mulligan, I guess. So Andrew is claiming that the momentum from that cutter that he threw carried him that way. It's a good effort. We're not buying it, but it's a good
I mean, to quote that, I mean, that was funny. I didn't see that much momentum. I thought he squared himself nicely to home after making his release. to the plate.
Yeah, it's not like a Mitch Williams follow through where you go all the way to the other dugout.
Well, that's a good comeback. He had enough time to think about that. Going to the dugout, having everybody laugh.
And in Andrew Triggs, he's having fun with this.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But it was funny. Let's see how much momentum.
He went straight to home plate and then right.
I did not see a lot of momentum. That's beautiful. He won't do it again.
Well, if he gets that much attention, he might. I mean, strike out the side, he walked to the other dugout.
Walk to center field.
Yeah.
So he is back to the minors. Jesse Hahn to the minors, and as we said, J.B. Wendelken came over in the Brett Lawrie trade from the White Sox.
White Sox and the A's have made some pretty good trades. The hitter at the plate right now, Marcus Semien, came along with Fegley and Bassett, of course, from the White Sox for Jeff Shamarja. Maybe
so 3-2 the count.
Maybe it's the mound today, partner, because a walk, or hit batter actually, and a walk to lead off this inning. The Orioles usually is pointing the way the wind is blowing.
It's a breezy day.
Yeah, Orioles wrong today.
Coughlin goes. Swing and a miss. Wieters throw to second base. Got it. Dug out by Scope. It was a throw in the dirt. Kobe Bastner, the second base umpire, took a long look at it. Probably wanted to make sure Scope had the ball.
Well, let's see what happens now. J.J. Hardy on the Orioles teaches the infielders to keep the glove on the ground on the short hop. See what Scope does. He actually, instead of coming up, he caught it and went down. So that's J.J. Hardy and his teaching. Watch Scope. See how he catches the ball? Instead of bringing with the palm up and bringing the ball up and then going down, you have the palm down, catch the ball. And that's J.J. Hardy's done some teaching, and Scope did it perfectly. Handled it nicely in the low throw.
He'll strike him out, throw him out, double play.
And again, the key is a short hop. Scope catch him with the palm down so he could take the ball and go straight down. If an infielder has the palm up and he catches the ball, he has to go up and then down. And it's just something new that these guys do, and they do it great. Head first slide, Scope. There's the tag. He did hang onto the ball. Straddling the bag, which also makes it great for the catcher. And Coughlin sliding straight into the tag.
2-0 to Burns. Burns in the air, left field, shallow. Rickard near the line. He's got it 3 outs. So leadoff walk, A's do nothing with it. They're going to the bottom of the second. It'll be Alvarez, Scope, and Flaherty. 3-2 A's lead. brought to you by AAA. What is your insurance doing? When it's not doing insurance? It should do more. Go to AAA.com for more details. Busy day at the ballpark today. A big crowd on hand. The A's leading the Orioles 3-2.
Think those kids are really caring about this baseball game?
No, they're just glad to be. You know what they're glad about? They can see the sun.
The sunshine.
I think the folks of Baltimore are just glad there's sunshine and they just want to be outside.
We used to do that at Cleveland. Your brother and I, I'm sure, you know, see that.
And that one is going to go a long, long ways. Look out on Utah Street. So Pedro Alvarez, his second home run. And that was a long one.
Well, that's the river, Pittsburgh. And here it's just on Utah Street. And Alvarez got in. The ball did not move, except really similar to what happened in New York with Orioles that hit the home run. But this one, once it bounced way up and hit the warehouse, and the ball was crushed. Hit the street, bounced up to the right of the window, just below it. And no doubter.
So just like that, this game is all tied at 3. So the Orioles are showing off that power today.
Yes, they are. Well, you mentioned about the sun shining, and we'd see it in Cleveland, hanging over Cleveland, over the stadium, the old stadium, and here it hangs, and it, I mean, this is cool weather, and they're hitting a lot of home runs. Just think when it really warms up in this part of the country.
1-2 the count to Jonathan Schoop with Flaherty to follow. That was a great look at Camden Yards.
And I still say this new hotels beyond left field, cutting down the wind, so a ball goes to left field. There's nothing, no wind coming in because the big buildings stop it. Warehouse stops it, so really it makes it great for balls to travel. There's the hotel beyond left field. You see how tall, really above the stadium, so any wind that comes in is going to be blocked by the building. And of course to the right side, so really only in center field, if there's wind blowing, does it come straight in.
Graveman kicks, and the 2-2 pitch is hit hard to left. That's trouble, and that's gone. 4-3 Orioles.
The next 3 games, that's a single off the Green Monster at Fenway. Line drive here, though, it goes into the seats, and this ball was smoked. Down the middle, that's the same pitch that Rondell struck him out with the bases loaded yesterday in the first game. This time, though, a line drive to center field, back-to-back home runs. 3 given up in the first 8 batters. And speaking of Rondell, he's up again in the bullpen. And unfortunately, Kendall Graveman is just not hitting his spots today.
It's got to be frustrating for a sinker ball pitcher. His ball's not sinking.
That's right.
Go for Schoop, home run number 5. So 3 home runs already in the game for the Orioles.
Well, in Detroit, it was Cabrera and Victor Martinez going back-to-back with home runs.
Now 40 home runs on the season for the Orioles, and that's the 4th time already this year that they have hit back-to-back home runs. So 2-2 the count to Ryan Flaherty, the 9th place hitter in this Orioles lineup. Orioles come in with a 17-12 record. They got a half-game lead over the Red Sox in the East. And they're 12-5 at home. 5-7 on the road. And the vote hangs on. First strikeout for Graveman.
It's a backdoor cut fastball, and he finally got that one working. See the movement of the pitch, the back door, and nice cut fastball thrown by Graveman. But you know, Stephen Vogt trying to get the sinker to work. He got the double play with Adam Jones in the first inning. But other than that, it's just not moving. And then when he elevates it, it's hit hard. Down low, it's not sinking as much as it normally does.
So 0-2 to Joey Rickard. Rickard walked and scored in the first. Runs inside. Graveman grabs it to first, and that's out number 2. I think sometimes a young pitcher, Ray, and it probably happens to a lot of young pitchers, and it could be something Graveman's going through, but when you don't have good stuff and things kind of aren't going your way, he's still learning how to figure out how can I go to plan B and be successful. Not easy to do, but I think good quality pitchers can go to a plan B and get through a day where maybe doesn't have his best stuff.
Yeah, it's a learning process, and Kendall Graveman being young, it does take a while to figure out that maybe the bullpen is just not there. Have to figure out a way to get outs. Sonny Gray's good at it. He's been known to invent pitches, and Mike Mussini, who pitched here for the Orioles for years, did the same thing.
But don't you think if you're going to be a above average starting pitcher, you have to be able to figure out a plan B if plan A is not working?
Absolutely. I agree 100%. And maybe even C. Because it just may not be working at all for you. It's working now, so he's figured out something.
So Machado grounds out. Pedro Alvarez and Jonathan Scope go back to back. So after 2, it's 4-3 Orioles. On CSN California is brought to you by Black Bear Diner. Feed your inner bear. Earl Weaver, if he were still alive, he'd probably eat a bear claw once in a while from Black Bear Diner.
Oh,
how good were those that they brought us? They were a big hit in my house. I know that. I was
going to say you took the whole box home.
I gave you a hat. I cut that one in half for you.
Well, I said you take them. You go ahead.
Oh, they were a huge hit.
You've got the family at home. The kids probably just couldn't wait for Daddy to come home with those.
Big hit. Such a big hit that we would gladly See it again.
Except more. Yeah, we would. Except as many as they want to bring up. We would be very happy to do that.
Canna, Reddick, and Lowry here in third. A's now trailing 4-3. A's will head to Boston after the game. In fact, both these teams will head to the airport. See, where are the Orioles going? They're going to Minnesota, 3 games, and then they'll come right back home. So Orioles to Minnesota, A's to Boston. Just looking at the Red Sox season so far, Ray, and they're 17-13, so they're having a good season. But boy, their offense has been unbelievable. Pitching not so much, but the Red Sox offense has been lights out.
And that's for Sandoval, the disabled
Yeah.
list.
One and 2 to Canna. Canna was hit by a pitch and scored, and he drives one left center field. That's hit well. Rickard is going to dive, and he caught it.
Well, robbed extra bases for Mark Canna. And Rickard, who really you think of the great Hall of Famer Ricky Henderson. He bats right, throws left, and Rickard with the glove on his right hand, being a left-hander, and went headlong dive and came up with a tremendous play. That is a great play. And also the fact he's left-handed might have helped him on the relay down on the corner, that he caught the ball, spun, and threw it into Machado. But just, you leave your feet, concentration. Adam Jones, of course, knows to back up as a center fielder, but that was a tremendous play, robbing Canna of extra bases.
Is that a Joey chant going on out in left field? I believe it is. Joey Rickard. So 1-1 the count to Reddick. Reddick had an RBI hit in the first inning. So the Red Sox, Ray, lead the American League in runs, hits, average, doubles, triples, stolen bases, on base percentage, and slugging percentage. So their offense has been awesome the first 5 weeks of the season. Pitching, though, 12th in the league in team ERA, so they're swinging it.
We got Joe Kelly at Pawtucket. He's pitched just the other day, and he's got, I think, one more. He's going to make a rehab.
Starting rotation is having trouble putting it all together. And Wieters is able to hang on. So Reddick's trying.
Oh wait, no, they're leaving him there. They said it hit the ground. That is strange, folks. Now Buck Showalter's going out, but the third base umpire said the ball hit the ground. And let's see. And Tillman is saying no. And there's a catcher turning. See all the dirt? That's the reason the third base umpire called it. Wieters had the palm of the glove up, caught it in the webbing.
Well, that's a tough call because there is some dirt moving around there.
And you don't review this either, because we had it happen last year a couple of times where the A's lost twice. That once they said the ball was foul tip, which it wasn't, and another time the ball clearly hit the dirt. Look how the catcher, Wieters, catches the ball backhanded down near the webbing, and this is probably what caused it right there with the dirt coming up. Third base umpire indicated that Mike Everett at third.
I think the A's caught a break.
I do too, but it's the way he caught it. If you had the palm up, the ball goes into the glove. There's no dirt, and it's caught.
So Reddick, it's another shot. So the count is full now to Reddick.
I'll be honest with you, I'm shocked that a base umpire called that, because just like Buck Showalter went out to ask and maybe even protest a little bit.
Very close pitch, called the ball.
But it is rare that a base umpire, third or first, makes that call, even though there's 90 plus whatever distance back to the grass they are away from the plate. So Reddick, if you're going good, those things happen.
That's exactly.
That's a great. It goes from a strikeout to a walk.
And I mean, You're right. There's no way where Mike Everett is standing where he can 100% say the ball hit the ground.
That's right.
He sees the dirt pop up a little bit, which can certainly happen if the ball hits there, and if the glove hits the ground, it's going to happen as well. And that's what you're saying. If you catch it differently, then the glove's not going to rub up against the ground and cause the dirt to kind of kick up.
See, catchers are not taught now with the palm up to catch the ball that's down below the knees. They're taught to kind of grab the ball and then bring it up. And almost to the point that some umpires say if you do that as a catcher, you're cheating because you have the palm up and you're bringing the ball in strike zone. Well, the guys who have the palm down and bring it up are doing it even more so. And if the umpire waits and looks at the catcher's mitt, they'll call a strike when it's clearly out of the strike zone.
0-2 to Lowry. And Reddick takes off, and a nice read by Reddick, and he's going to make it. And he came off the bag, and Scope went back to try to get a tag. See, Machado, excuse me.
Well, it's a wild pitch because Reddick reacted once the ball's in the dirt, and Wieters, coming off Tommy John surgery as a catcher, which is abnormal, but Reddick, great hustle and did slide past, but could not be tagged out by Machado before he got back to back. So Reddick hustling his way into scoring position. You hit it behind Reddick. You got to love that because he's finding a way to get on base and get in the scoring position.
Lowry hit a fly ball to right field in the first inning. Strike 3 called at the knees. Lowry thought it was low.
Jed, a great game in game 1 yesterday. See how watch Wieters catch the ball. Watch what he does. Comes up about 6 inches, and of course he's also about 3 feet behind home plate. And while that seems to be low, still say a lot of times it will cross the plate. Maybe an umpire won't call it, but that time Tim is dead.
And that one, when it crossed that front knee of Lowry, was just a touch below the kneecap. And I think generally, Ray, a hitter's front leg is pretty much even with the front of home plate.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point.
That's why we always kind of look at, see, he's right at the front of home plate. So when we show the side shot of those pitches, we always look to see where the ball crosses past that front knee. It's not a perfect way to look at it, but it's probably the closest way to see if the pitch is high or low.
I think you can also see the distance in which the catcher is behind. See where Wieters is set up? Look at home plate.
It's got to be 3-4 feet.
Exactly. And the farther the hitter's back in the batter's box, the farther the catcher has to get back. So, while he might catch the ball low, it's where it crosses the plate. And the fact that he is that far behind the catcher, or behind home plate, the umpire's back there as well.
So when you were catching, I mean, did you just kind of know hitters that stood deep in the box, or did you kind of look to see where they're digging in and say, well, I got to move back a little?
Oh, exactly. You have to position. You don't want catcher's interference, so you move back accordingly.
Reddick with his lead not being held. 1-2 pitch. Slapped foul.
See, the ground crew didn't like me because they'd spend all that time making it so pretty around home plate. First thing I did on the home game, I'd wipe out all lines. Because you had some hitters that want to get deeper. As long as the lines aren't there, unless the umpire takes the bat and measures it like some do, you wipe those lines out, and all of a sudden there's nothing for the umpire to look at, and you can keep moving back farther and farther, especially a guy throwing upwards of 90s with a fastball. Get deeper as deep as you can.
Another 1-2 pitch. It's rolled foul past Mike Reddick.
He's got 2 huge hits in the first inning with 2 outs, driving in a couple of runs. He'd like to do it again. As it looks like this is going to be a game of scoring, and so far the home run ball for the Orioles has helped them gain the lead.
Another 1-2 to Vogt. This one could be playable. Foul territory. Look at the wind take it. Boy, it just hit a wall, and it is indeed a very windy day. So the A's strand a runner. And I want to wish all the mothers out there a very happy Mother's Day. Brew Coors Light. Single season home run leaders for the Baltimore Orioles. Chris Davis, 53 in 2013. And then 47 last year. Some other great names in there. Brady Anderson, Frank Robinson, and gentleman Jim Gentile.
Yep. You saw that 49 for Frank Robinson in 66. They mentioned the other day they're erecting a flag because in 66 Frank Robinson at Memorial Stadium left the yard completely, hit it out of the stadium.
Yeah, that was a great story, wasn't it?
And they erected a flag on the 50th anniversary of that shot to always remember Frank Robinson leaving Memorial Stadium.
Chris Davis hit by a pitch. Here's the true story brought to you by McDonald's. There's Brady Anderson, September 29th, 1996. He hits home run number 50. It was the last day of the season in Toronto, and he breaks Frank Robinson's franchise record at the time for home runs in a season. Anderson is one of only 2 players to have stolen 50 or more bases in a season and hit 50 or more home runs in a season. He stole 53 in 1992. The other player to do that was Barry Bonds, so Brady Anderson.
But let's go to the statistics and see each season what Brady Anderson did before that and after that.
So Adam Jones skies one, and there's that wind. I'm telling you, that was not an easy play. Simeon hangs with it. Now, what was the distance on that Frank Robinson home run again? 480
forever.
And he hit it off Louis Tia.
Yeah, I think he's on the left field line at Memorial Stadium. And
out of Memorial Stadium.
I remember going in there after and saying, Frank hit one over there. Yeah, well, he did it.
It was a great story today in the newspaper. A couple of teenagers are just walking home. And people started yelling, "There's, pick up the ball." And they picked it up, and 10 minutes later they were
like
stars inside the stadium.
It's like our great shot in Cleveland when the fans just coming in late.
That's right.
Going after the ball that ends up rolling down the street. Takes a hitter.
Trumbo had a base hit in the first inning. The Orioles many years ago were actually the St. Louis Browns. And in 1954 the St. Louis Browns moved to Baltimore, became the Orioles.
Mark is going to take a look at this video and see that home first base umpire Paul Emmel makes the call. Watch the head of the bat. That's enough for him to call the strike, although he brought it back very quickly. And these guys' hands and forearms are so strong, and they're so quick when they get the bad hit out, and really takes a lot of concentration by the umpire at first or third to make the call.
That one's hit deep. You can forget about that one, folks. The Orioles are teeing off with the long ball today. 2-run shot for Trumbo.
To the cutter, then had a check swing and tried to go back inside with a sinking fastball. It did not sink, except halfway up in left field. Look where the pitch is, and again, got to give Trumbo credit because he brought his hands in and got it before he had a chance to hit the ground ball to the left side. And once he hit it, it was gone. He has the power to be able to do it.
So home run number 9 for Trumbo, and it's 6-3 Orioles. Trumbo having a terrific start to his first season here in Baltimore. Matt Wieters swings through it, 0-2 the count.
Well, the Orioles are swinging like it's home run derby now.
Yep. Wieters hit a fly ball to center field in the first inning.
Rindell, you could see him get up out of the bullpen again after that shot. That's 4 home runs. Graveman 3 in Detroit, as we mentioned, so the 4th today. And just the 3rd inning. But he walked the leadoff batter, then the home run, hit Davis to lead off this inning, and then an out later, a home run.
Well, it's a live yard always, and it's real live today, so you got to still try to keep the game close.
Yeah.
1-2 pitch, off speed, and Wieters swings and misses. Second strikeout for Graveman.
Well, you can see the left-hander, as we mentioned, they showed the numbers, and this is why. Look at this ball just tail away, and Wieters, who tried to hit home run his first pitch, this time just trying to protect with the pitch running away from him.
Pedro Alvarez steps in. He had a very long home run to right field. Out in right field, above the out-of-town scoreboard, there's a big standing area. And then past that, you see the big iron gates where you enter into the ballpark. And then past those gates is Utah Street walkway, and then there's the big warehouse. Alvarez's ball bounced once and hit the warehouses.
Just watch a high hop. I mean, Alvarez crushed this one. And again, trying to get inside as he did the Trumbo and missed it. And when you see a ball bounce that high off the warehouse, you know it's gone a long way.
It may have gone over those gates out there, those big iron gates.
Didn't need any help with the wind either.
No, it didn't. 1-2 to Alvarez. You saw that note on Kendall Graveman. Boy, he's given up 9 home runs now.
He started with Abreu when he was coming off the flu in his first start at the Coliseum. He went 5 innings of great pitching and then walked the batter, gave up Jose Abreu opposite field home run. That was it. 2 runs. Well, he had his best start at Yankee Stadium. Just 1 run on 3 hits, 6 in the third, 8 strikeouts, and the 1 home run to Gregorius. But Detroit, Seattle struggled a bit.
So full count. 57 pitches for Kendall Graveman so far. Not close. Bob Melvin's coming out.
You know, it kind of reminds us of a little bit, I think, watching Sonny Gray in Detroit, where he said, I had nothing. I had no idea where the ball was going. I think Kendall Graveman today shoots from one spot. It goes another one. That last pitch, really probably just trying to throw it down the middle, and it was 2 feet outside. So go back to the drawing board and try to get ready for the next one.
So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change, tune-up, and brake experts.
Bobblehead with spinning action presented by Comerica Bank. Saturday, May 28th, 15,000 fans will walk away with a replica of one of the Gold Glover's signature catches. Get your tickets today at athletics.com/tickets, or you can call 877-493-BALL. It's one of the good ones. Very creative with the chain link fence from Scottsdale Stadium, where he robbed Michael Morse back-to-back at bats, and Josh Reddick kind of spinning up to make the play. You'll see that in a bobblehead. He also looks up on the diamond vision and sees what turned out to be a 3-0 lead in the first, now 6-3 in favor of the Orioles.
So here's Ryan Dahl to face Jonathan Scope. Runner at first, 2 outs, 2 runs in. First pitch popped up on the infield. Simeon waits, and he's got it. So 1 pitch, Dahl gets out of the inning, but Trumbo homers his 9th of the year. We're headed to the 4th inning. Orioles 6, A's 3.
With the MLB.com at-bat app. Stay up to the moment, any moment, with game day live game video highlights, StatCast news, and more. Download MLB.com at-bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your phone and your tablet. Man, that's a horn.
Look at the game face. Look at the game face.
Well, that's. Have you ever been to a park where they say corn on the cob? Is that what that is?
Another reason why Camden Yards is great.
That
corn
amazing.
on the cob?
I've never seen that. With a stick, so you don't have to get your fingers dirty.
They have the tub of butter where you just put the corn.
Really?
Then you and I are taking an inning off. Going out.
That's a corn dog. Looks like
a regular
corn on the cob.
Corn.
Looks like a regular corn.
2-0 to Valencia. He's trailing 6-3, so some work to do, but ballpark's playing small today. Valencia had an RBI single in the first. It was an infield hit. High chopper off the mound. Valencia had a hustle on that one, and he hit around the bases. He was going full steam, got thrown out at the plate, so it looks like the hamstring's okay, and that's good news. Alonso to follow, and then Coghlan. The 3-0 pitch is a strike.
Well, Graveman unfortunately out after 2 2/3, and for Tillman, giving up 3 in the first inning, he has settled down. Although he has not gone unscathed, he's had to deal with some trouble. And 3-0, now 3-1 to Valencia.
And Valencia rips one left center for a hit. So
2010, partner, and boy, this was a thrill for us as Dallas Braden. Peggy Lindsay's grandmother on hand, ground ball to Pennington, and the final out of a perfect game at the Coliseum on Mother's Day 2010. May the 9th, there is Peggy Lindsay's grandmother and Dallas Braden.
That was cool.
That was great. And you know, we were sitting there, and I remember looking at my scoreboard, and I said, he's given up nothing.
I know. Kind of caught us off guard a little bit.
Because it was a great game, relatively close game, but
another shot toward left center. Jones, what a play. Alonso hit it right on the nose. Yeah, that was a special day.
It was 19th perfect game and 109 pitches, 77 strikes. Landon Powell, of course, was the catcher. And there's some great defensive plays. He had a 14-pitch at bat against Gabe Kapler.
That's right. 14
pitches. I mean, so. And even going to the final out, it was, he thought was 2-2. It was actually 3-1. And when Kid Korak on the radio side made the final call, he said, Korak's wrong. It's 2-2. It was 3-1. Kapler said, I'm not going to walk. He swung at probably ball 4 and rolled over and hit a ground ball to Pennington, who's a rookie at the time. And the rest is history. Something that Dallas Braden on Mother's Day will always remember, as well as his grandmother, Peggy Lindsay. And we miss the eclairs.
Yeah, we
don't we?
She took good care of us.
Oof. We hope Dallas always pitched at home, because when his grandmother came, she usually brought some goodies.
1-0 the count to Chris Coghlan. Coghlan walked in the second inning. He's ahead in the count 2-0. Just missed. 3-0.
Tough a job for a manager, and Bob Melvin did it in the bottom of the 3rd. And that's kind of when to know to take your pitcher out. And knowing that this is a ballpark that's more of an offensive park. I mean, after all, last year only 8 times was a home run not hit, so we've seen a bunch already today. Fortunately, all by the Orioles, but Bob Melvin took out Kendall Graveman, and Ryan Dahl comes in, so he knows it's going to be a long day for the bullpen, but trying to keep it close.
So the A's got a shot here. 2 on, 1 out.
Really, the case of Buck Showalter with Tillman. Tillman in the 4th inning. You'd like to get him through 5 to qualify for a win if they're still ahead, but you never know. It's all about winning games.
Tillman has always pitched well against the A's, and he's pitched well overall recently, but he is not sharp today. He's walked 3, struck out 2. Already 71 pitches.
Marcus a pitch on a 2-0 fastball against Mattis after he had difficulty throwing strikes, and that ball went halfway up the left field. 8 runs scored by the Athletics in the first game yesterday, so that's a good sign for the club. 3 in the first inning today.
There's a strike. 1-1 the count. Simeon struck out in the second inning. It was part of a strike him out, throw him out double play by the Orioles. Simeon leading the A's with 8 home runs. Last year he hit 15, hit his 8th on July 8th, so ahead of his pace.
His biggest hit yesterday probably came in the second inning. We drove in a run with 2 outs on a ground ball, base hit to left field. 2-run home run was later, but he knows hitting at .216 starting to play today, while he's hit the home runs, he'd like to get the hits to get the average up.
So 2-1 the count with Billy Burns in the on deck circle. There's Valencia at second, Coughlin at first. Napkin blowing right in front, or right between home plate and the pitcher's mound. There's another one coming past the Orioles dugout. Two-one pitch. You say a candlestick. We used to have napkins and wrappers that would blow, but there was hot dogs in them. And they would still blow quickly across. Stick up against the outfield fence. That's kind of disgusting. So is that ballpark. So. 2-2. Big sweeping breaking ball, and now a full count.
Again, a windy day like today, there will be a lot of debris on the field. Amazing.
I think the wind has picked up in the last 15 to 20 minutes.
Swirling napkins on the infield.
Payoff pitch and a high fastball, and he got him.
Well, this time the runners were not running, and good idea as Marcus Simeon, another 3-2 count, elevated and really Tillman getting away with some pitches up in the zone that unfortunately Kendall Graveman had a chance to see the Orioles hit those types of pitches.
So see if Burns can knock him in with a 2-out hit. And that is a fair ball and picked up by Ryan Flaherty. Just picked it up, slapped the bag, side retired. So Mike Everett said fair ball, and just like that, the inning comes to an end. Still 6-3 Orioles as we go to the bottom of the 4th. CSN All-Star Teacher Program is upon us, recognizing teachers that make a difference. Visit csncalifornia.com. And voting winner receives $20,000 for his or her school. Bottom of the fourth inning, it'll be Flaherty, Rickard, and Machado. Ryan Dahl threw one pitch and got the final out of the third inning. Little off the plate. J.J. Hardy on the disabled list. Maybe out for a while, so Flaherty maybe get some playing time at third base. Hit hard, but right at Coughlin. So Flaherty's retired. So one out here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Giovanni Gallardo on the disabled list as well. See this. Yeah. Orioles signed Gallardo, the right-handed starter. Give him a 2-year deal.
Well, every team's looking for pitching. Buck Showalter knows that pitching is so important to win. He's got the offense, but a lot of times you cannot outslug an opposing team.
Well, I think Gallardo's not going to be out a real long time. Remember, the Orioles lost Wei-Yin Chen. Chen signed a free agent deal with the Marlins. So they did not sign Chen, but they signed Gallardo. One and one the count to Joey Rickard. Rickard walked and scored and then bounced back to the pitcher. Each team with 5 hits. There has not been an error made in the game. But a lot of base runners for both teams. Left field and deep. Canna turns around. He's near the wall. He leaps, and it is gone. Rickard homers, and the Orioles do it again. It's now 7-3. I think Marcano was very close to catching it.
Well, it's the short wall in left field where it enables an outfielder to go up and bring it back. Hanging breaking ball, hanging slider, and you get it up and you hope. And from Canna's standpoint, he was hopeful to getting back. He got back to wall perfectly and timed his jump, and you could see where the ball just went right past his glove right there. He just did not get to the direction in which the ball was coming down, and that's what you call skimming the outfield wall for a home run. Still the 5th by the Orioles.
And here's Manny Machado.
Remember the great play that Mike Trout made here, that a signature catch in right field when he went way up high over the wall and brought back a home run.
Now you can make it. You can go a couple feet into the stands here because of that short right field wall. Or a short wall all around except right field. Right field is where the out-of-town scoreboard is, and that's 25 feet high. But all the way around the rest of the outfield fence, it's the same height, and it's not very tall.
Well, this is Machado for right center, an elevated fastball from Kendall Graveman. This went beyond the fence, and Reddick tried to do his signature catch, but could not get high enough.
2-2 now to Machado. That was in the first, and Machado grounded to short in the second inning.
Well, this is the 4th, and at least one home run's been hit by the Orioles in all 4 innings. 2 in the second, back-to-back.
Slider. Machado swings and misses.
Okay, on a positive note, I'd like to wish my wife Carol a happy Mother's Day, and one of our wonderful children who have made us grandparents, but Carol, thank you. And I know you have someone at home who is also special this time of the year when we're on the road. And for the mothers, thank you for all your hard work.
Ain't that the truth? Happy Mother's Day to my wife Amanda, who takes wonderful care of our 2 children, Jack and Annie. Double duty when Dad's gone.
You got it.
Dad's gone a lot.
You know, you think about what we go through, everybody in the traveling party and Mother's Day and all the players on the field. And there have been a lot of the Diamond Visions. We had it on as well with players wishing their moms happy Mother's Day, but also their wives, because they are there and while everybody's on the road, especially this time of the year. So a special day and happy Mother's Day to all.
And yeah, we would rather be home, but that's okay.
Yeah. We'll be there for Father's Day.
That's right. We will be
at the Coliseum. I think it's the 19th of June against the Angels. But they are special and always are in the game of baseball, the 162 game schedule, and we hope to play in October.
Well, your children are grown and married, and mine are younger, and there seems to be a different sporting event every year that they have to get to.
Exactly. And Daddy's always busy in the off season, especially with the carpools, right? And when you're at home in the regular season.
Mom becomes a taxi driver. But the kids are always there on time. They're always there by first pitch.
That's right. That's all that matters.
All part of it.
Well, and that's what, in talking to players about on Mother's Day and how many of them with the dads working. And they said Mom was always there to play catch, take me to the games, and take me every place I had to go to play baseball. And while Dad was working.
She was washing the uniforms, too.
That's true. But more than anything, driving to all those events.
Dahl strikes out Davis. Another home run for the Orioles. Joey Rickard with his 3rd home run of the year. So it's now 7-3 Orioles after 4.
Baseball and softball, from organized league games to simply playing catch, come out to the Coliseum on May 28th and 29th for MLB's inaugural Play Ball weekend, proudly supported by Chevrolet and Scotts. Sunday, May 29th, 10,000 fans will receive bat and ball sets. Get your tickets today at athletics.com/tickets. Be more.
Baltimore.
Baltimore.
My mom can't be more cool. That's right. Moms are pretty cool.
You know, and I think you said it between innings to the guys in the truck that they're not up here to say the same thing as we just did. So I'm sure for the guys in the truck, we speak on their behalf as well.
That's right. Our producer, Larry Wars, and his wife, Shannon, and our director, Tom Adza, his wife, Janet. You know what? We're going to wish them a happy Mother's Day,
That's
too.
right. On behalf of those guys.
That's right. We're going to do that.
That's right.
Each of them with 2 boys. So moms did good there as well.
And they travel just like we do.
Yeah, I was going to say they are on the same plane and same bus as we are. Canna had a rip, fouled it off Wieters, and looked like Wieters took a pretty good shot.
Well, he took one in the first game yesterday and did not play in the nightcap, but a straight shot just like this one yesterday. Boom, boom, off his glove, right off his mask, and he's saying, you know, I was a pitcher in college. Maybe I should go back to pitching. Because he's taking some shots. He's an excellent catcher. And he did have. It is unusual. We always talk about Tommy John surgeries, the ligament transplant of the elbow for the pitchers, but a catcher. And Wieters had the same surgery.
Machado has to hurry, and they just got Canna, who runs well. So 6-3. Machado looks pretty good at short.
Yeah, that's the position, and he shows it with J.J. Hardy. Take your time, no hurry there to come back off the disabled list, because Manny Machado can handle his normal position. A very strong arm. I think Tommy Adz, our director, was saying after the game last night, talking about Machado, and not only does he make the play, but he makes an off-balance throw. It's an accurate throw. As he got Reddick, actually Reddick with an infield hit last night, but he saved another run. Machado did by making a great play and almost threw out Reddick first.
Reddick swing. Reddick today, RBI single and a run scored in the first, and he walked in the third. So right now the Orioles they're just having all kinds of trouble getting Reddick out.
And they also saw that ball that might have been caught by Wieters. Instead of getting a reprieve, ended up going from a strikeout to a walk. So all things working for the A's right fielder.
Out in front of that one. A little bit off balance, and it's probably the first time he's been off balance all weekend.
You know, Josh Reddick and the A's, of course, going to Boston Fenway Park, and it was Boston that traded Reddick to the Athletics, and I'm sure for him to go ahead and see those excellent numbers up on the board whenever he's introduced and comes to the plate, it's going to be proud for him. Go ahead, and there's another one.
That's a magic wand.
Yeah.
He's going right now, and he knows it. Right up the middle, he hit it hard. He is now 9 for 11 in the series. 9 for 11.
Well, that's a 2-strike. Pretty good pitcher's pitch down. And he just stayed with it and beat it into the ground hard. Really, he's keeping his power back, even though the body's going forward, and able to drive it up the middle just past Tillman. There's no way Tillman's going to catch that ball. I mean, after all, it's Reddick hitting. It's just not going to happen. A good series for Josh Reddick, and just wants to keep it going.
Here's Lowry. Lowry has hit a fly ball to right, and he has struck out. So Lowry 0 for 2. He's 3 for 11 in the series with a couple of RBIs. High pitch, swung through it. Tillman trying to get through 5. He's at 88 pitches. Has not had an easy inning. Looking for his 4th win of the year. In the air to right. Out of town scoreboard is there, and so is Trumbo, and Trumbo makes the catch right in front of that scoreboard.
But anytime you hit a ball that high, you have to look at the flag, see what might have happened, because when a ball gets above and that high, maybe not quite above the stadium, but high enough that the wind can affect it. And Trumbo, watch his left arm. He's going back to warning track. He's feeling for the wall with his left arm right there. It's not close, so he knows he has room to be able to make the catch. There, no wall, a couple of steps more, and he's able to make the play.
Well, it's only 318 down the line, and then again that wall is 25 feet high.
And that's why they have the height of the wall, because what, 330 something down the left field line, a little bit different, although I don't believe those dimensions.
Rickard's there, and Vogt is retired, and so are the A's. So Reddick another hit, but he is stranded. Bottom of the 5th coming up, 7-3 Baltimore. California is brought to you by Black Bear Diner. Feed your inner bear. 7-3 Orioles lead. It's the bottom of the 5th from Oriole Park at Camden Yards on a sunny, windy day here in Baltimore on Mother's Day.
And you see the crowd today. I could just envision the dad saying, "Hey, Mom, I'm going to give you a gift today. We're going to watch baseball." Because this place is packed. And Father's Day, because you can reciprocate by taking me to a game on Father's Day. So that all works out well. But good day for the family. So General Manager Dan Duquette with his family here. So everybody eating in the press room. And I think they're next to it over here. So good day all the way around here at Oriole Park. Except that the A's are trailing. Now 7-3.
It's Jones, Trumbo, and Wieters here in the 5th inning. An inning and a third so far for Ryan Dull. Kendall Graven knocked out in the 3rd. In 2 2/3 innings gave up 6 earned runs.
With the short outing by Kendall Graven, Bob Melvin and Kurt Young have to start looking at the Red Sox series. They do have an off day Thursday, but having the bullpen coming in the 3rd inning and it's going to be used for the remainder of the game. Going to be needing some length from the starters in Boston.
Yes, Sonny's going to go Monday, and then Sean Manaea on Tuesday, and then Wednesday the A's will need a starter. It'll pop up toward Coghlan, who's out in the outfield grass, and he makes the catch.
Sean Manaea was hoping he would pitch today because he looked great decked out in the pink. Yes, he did. He's got all the pink on. And he's just so happy to be in the major leagues, and that man's got a great future. He had the pink plates and double wristbands, everything working well.
So it's not just the A's and the Orioles who are wearing these. Every team is wearing a special uniform today. And how many boxes did you say,
34.
Steve? 34 boxes of stuff.
Well, you figure every manufacturer, I mean, you see the different logos. Players are signed with different companies, so the manufacturers send all the gear. Now the uniforms, there is a company I think that provides uniforms for the teams, and they send all the uniforms, which I'm sure are a few boxes. Then the players' shoes, wristbands, undergarments like the sweatshirts, batting gloves. I mean, it's all pink. Somebody's got to authenticate all that stuff when this game's over. Sign, authenticate to be able to sell, to raise money. But yeah, every team does it, and well, there are 15 home games today of the 30 teams, so the home team, but also the visiting. In case the Orioles also not as decked out as the A's, because it's almost a full uniform.
Reddick shading his eyes, now drifting back, fighting it, and he can't find it. It lands behind him. Trumbo hustling all the way, and he's going to end up at third. So the Sun finally gets somebody, and unfortunately for the A's, it's Reddick. Trumbo was running hard the whole way, and he ends up at third.
Well, I was watching the batter before in Adam Jones. Now, Reddick really looks like he's got it. He may have found it, but then lost it as it was coming down, maybe trying to find it there, using his glove, using the sunglasses, and then it's about 10 feet to his left. But on the fly ball that Adam Jones hit to second, he barely made it to first. So if this same thing would have happened, he may not have gotten as far as Trumbo did. But you're right, Trumbo, as all players should, you run hard, ball is caught, then you can jog back to the dugout.
So here's Wieters with a chance to knock it a run. The A's have to bring the infield in. So Trumbo a single, a triple, and a homer today.
And see, he knows the ball's in the sun. He knows it's a sun field. He plays right field, so he knows how difficult it is. And he is not hesitating, and he gets to third easily.
Yeah, that's a good call. If he's standing out there all day, he knows that it's not an easy day, and it's also very breezy and sunny, and it's a tough combination. Wieters on the ground. Simeon scoops it up.
But
you know, cannot get it done.
We say that, but in reality, this group of fans, all they want to see is a player run hard. You know, the last thing, I mean, it's embarrassing for a player to hit a fly ball and all of a sudden it's dropped and you're standing at first and you should be standing at second or third. So, you know, Trumbo, all you can do is run hard. If he catches it, you're out.
It shouldn't have anything to do with sunny or windy.
Exactly. Just run hard all the time.
So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change, tune-up, and brake expert. Zepchinski coming in.
The Oakland Athletics and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Athletics Investment Group, LLC.
So it's 7-3. The Orioles lead the A's. trying to keep it there as Pedro Alvarez, a left-handed hitter, comes to the plate, and the A's go to the bullpen for their lefty, Mark Zipczynski. So, well, you can really see, even though it's only the 5th inning, Bob Melvin is trying everything just to keep this game within reach. Stay somewhat close, and maybe somebody hits a 3-run homer for you.
You know, and I think that's what we always appreciate about Bob Melvin, and every manager, and everybody should. But think about every game as being one game, and you do everything you can to win that one game.
A shot, Semien, what a play. Picks it up, throws to first, got it. Terrific play by Marcus Semien with the shift on, and it saved a run. So the Orioles do not score. 6th inning coming up. 7-3 Baltimore. Sixth inning. Join us tomorrow. The A's road trip continues as we will head to Boston to take on the Red Sox. Game 1 will feature Sonny Gray and Clay Buchholz. Coverage begins at 3:30 with A's pregame live, and you'll get complete A's coverage every night on Sportsnet Central and CSNCalifornia.com. The home of A's baseball is CSN. So Fenway Park tomorrow night.
High above Fenway Park.
High above. That's right.
That's where we are positioned there.
Well, the Red Sox having a decent start. Red Sox will play the nationally televised game tonight in New York. In fact, the Yankees are trying to sweep the Red Sox in that 3-game series. So Red Sox will get home late. This game started at 8 o'clock here on the East Coast. So you can be very late for the Red Sox.
Yankees and Red Sox always play slower and long games anyway.
They'll go 3.5 tonight.
You know, they both take pitches. They're all very selective, and it's been a network game. It's going to take extra time anyway.
So Valencia on 3 pitches, he strikes out. So 5 1/3 inning so far for Chris Tillman. There's the last 3 years for Tillman. 29 and 13, but then last year slipped a little bit to 11 and 11. He was an all-star in 2013. So maybe just a down year. He was 16 and 7 in 2013 and 13 and 6 the next year, but then last year 11 and 11. Overall, a career record of 59 and 43, so that's pretty good career record. Alonso rolls the foul. Now, we are certainly not trying to make the Seattle Mariners mad at us, Roy.
Yeah. I know where you're going with that.
But the trade was made in February of 2008. And it was Adam Jones, Chris Tillman, and 3 other players for Eric Bedard. So Eric Bedard went from the Orioles to the Mariners, and the Mariners gave up Jones and Tillman.
Yeah, starting pitcher, an everyday all-star center fielder, and a pretty good curveball, and really Tillman. And kind of to your point about a pitcher having to maybe go to plan B, Chris Tillman has done that today, because he struggled, gave up 3 in the first inning, but since then he's given up just 2 hits. He has 4 strikeouts, but he has done what was necessary to get himself back on track.
I think he's a perfect example.
Yeah, exactly, because he had nothing in the first. He's had a chance. They put 3 up, chance to put 4. His club has scored 7 runs, and he's given up nothing since.
And he walked the leadoff man in the 2nd, and he had a 1-out walk in the 3rd. But he's been able to just kind of weave his way through it. And now he's working on getting through 6 innings.
I think this is why also that in recent past, I mean, it's been I think of Bob Didier when he caught for the Braves many years ago. He was one of the first to start to go to the bullpen and warm up a pitcher as a starting catcher, and it was unheard of. But I think in today's world, where you see a starting catcher like Wieters would say warm up Tillman, I know Vogt was warming up Graveman in the bullpen, but you see what they have then, and it helps you when you get on the field in the game. They may have something in the bullpen, and you go to and realize it's not working now. Let's go to plan B. So I think while that gives extra work for the catcher to do that, but it also is very informative, allowing him to see exactly how the pitcher is throwing even before he comes to game. Stephen Vogt opening night. Catching Stephen Vogt warming up the pitcher, down in the bullpen. They never get to line up with everybody else.
1-2 pitch struck him out. So Tillman strikes out the side. He's got 5 strikeouts total. And we are moving to the bottom of the 6th inning. 7-3 Orioles lead.
In the Coliseum, check out the A's President's Suite, located right above the first base bag. That is a great sight. Suite includes an extensive high-end food package, beer and wine, VIP parking, and more. Availability is limited for this popular experience, so book your President's Suite today by calling 510-638-GO-A's or by visiting athletics.com/president. Ask for Steve or Matt, any of those guys, and premium suite services, and they'll take care of you.
Sebzinski stays out there. He'll face Scope, Flaherty, and Joey Ricker. Bottom of the 6th inning. Orioles have hit 5 home runs today, and they have a 7-3 lead. Scope hit one. This was in the 2nd inning.
That was back-to-back, that low line drive.
So all their runs have come on the long ball today. Tigers leading the Rangers 2-0 through 7 innings in Detroit. Wendelken starting to loosen up. Could see a major league debut.
boy,
He's a big fella.
Hey, how about him? He looks great in the pink out there, doesn't he? Scott Emerson, the bullpen coach. He's really decked out.
And that one is going to be a base hit. Scope just found that hole with the shift on and just kind of served it into shallow right field. So 8th hit. So the most home runs the Orioles have ever hit in a game here in this ballpark was last year against the Phillies. They hit 8. And there's the guys that hit them. And they won that game 19-3.
Well, you can look at Machado, yes. Chris Davis, yes. And even Flaherty, yes. And Paredes on the DL. David Lowe. Who's that second guy hit too?
Chris Parmalee. Left-handed hitter. Last year, the Orioles hit 217 home runs, 3rd most in the American League. They didn't steal any bases last year, and they're really not doing it much this year either. It's not their thing.
They always talk about a Wrigley Field. They look at the flag if they're blowing out. Man, it's a hitter's paradise. I look at Baltimore, Camden Yards. If it's warm, you get the ball in the air, you have a chance. I mean, it really is great for hitters. I think the low wall of the outfield, and we're going to see at Fenway Park that high green monster where line drives are singles. Sal Bando just peppered the wall with singles in the '75 League Championship Series.
Yeah, and I think a misnomer about Wrigley Field. There are plenty of days where the wind is blowing in.
Yes,
and
exactly.
It's a good place to hit.
Exactly. Well, they said that I think Ted Williams, the greatest hitter, maybe. He'd look out his window and see the flag blow in a certain direction. He'd light up a cigar and say, "It's going to be a good day."
Yeah,
it's
sure.
my kind of day with the wind blowing out.
But the idea that it's just a Wrigley Field is just a jet stream, the wind blowing out every game, that is really not the case at all. There are days like that. The wind can come off the lake and blow in sometimes from right side. 2-2 the count to Flaherty. Scope aboard with the leadoff single. This one rolled up the first base line. Alonso grabs it and then tags Flaherty. So 1 out, Scope to second. And now Joey Rickard will hit. Rickard's had a good game. He walked and scored in the first. He homered in the 4th. First pitch a little bit low. This is what Rickard did in the 4th inning. And Canna almost caught it.
Just to the left of his outstretched glove, and
wait, just missed
it. Just and the ball kind of hooked on him a little bit. But that's just a fly ball. It just happened to carry just barely over the fence.
Down and in, 2-1. In that Tigers game where they're leading the Rangers 2-0 now in the top of the 8th. Justin Verlander really kind of had an up and down season. He pitched well today. Tigers have lost 5 in a row, so they're trying to avoid being swept by the Rangers. Valencia, nice play. Straightens up, fires across in time. So 2 out, Scope stays at second, and that'll bring up Manny Machado, who is our Ford Wright choice for today. Some of the numbers on Manny Machado last season: second Oriole with 30 homers and 20 stolen bases in the season. He's been an all-star a couple of times, including last year. And a couple of gold gloves, no surprise there. And this year, he was the player of the month for April. Got off to a great start. He hit .344 in April, and he's held that because coming into today, his batting average was .345.
And he's so dangerous, they're going to pitch. Actually, intentionally walk him to pitch to Chris Davis, Crash Davis. So it'll be lefty on lefty, but they will decide to take a chance with the lefty on lefty. Hey, they did not also mention our great crew downstairs that brother-in-law of Yonder Alonso. Gotta put that in there as a major note. You don't see that often.
Can't think of that, is there? Oh, that's right. You know who is there is another
Yan Gomes, but
Yan Gomes is married to
his
Atlee Hammaker's daughter.
Right, father-in-law is Atlee Hammaker. Right.
But the big pitcher from the Pirates, Garrett Cole, is married to Brandon Crawford's sister from the Giants.
Oh, right.
Because they all went to UCLA.
I didn't know that.
So he gets to face his brother-in-law, who's really good. All right, getting shifty with it. Players with the most defensive shifts against. Chris Davis is second. Are you surprised that they're all left-hand hitters? No, of course not.
Are you really surprised that it's David Ortiz at the top of the list?
No, it's forcing him into retirement.
Yeah, that's right. He said enough of this. All these hits that I've been taking away. I could have been a perennial 300 hitter if not for the shift.
3 for 8 in his career against Zabzinski. So the shift has Coughlin in short right field, Simeon up the middle, and Valencia kind of holding his position somewhat at third. If he doesn't, then Scope takes off for third.
Chris Davis has really one swing that can carry it out to left field, to center field, to right field, and he can hit over the shift. He's a power hitter. And they're going to intentionally walk Chris Davis to get to Adam Jones. Remember his Buck Showalter. Never forget that he intentionally walked Barry Bonds with the bases loaded.
Walked in a run.
Yes, walked in a run, and the next hitter hit a line drive that took a fabulous play to end the game.
Game over. Genius move. So 2-0 the count. 2 on, 2 out. And Davis took a fastball first, right? Astros leading the Mariners 3-1 in the bottom of the 4th inning.
Well, the Mariners are playing. They're not concerned. No. They are playing great. Robinson could know what a season he's having.
Davis rolls that one foul. Yeah, the Mariners have won 5 out of 6, and in that series they've won 2 of the first 3. And that's the 4th and final game of the series. Iwakuma and McHugh. Mariners,
with 2 home runs last night, game winner and extra innings, profit boxes. So I mean, everything's working well. Starting to score runs, and I think the A's swept them in the first road trip in the A's home opening weekend for the Mariners.
Davis swings and misses. Zabzinski gets out of it as the Orioles strand a pair. Through 6 innings from Baltimore, the Orioles 7 and the A's 3. CSNCalifornia.com. Each week, our A's insider Joe Stiglitz talks baseball with players, coaches, special guests, and much more. The A's Insider Podcast with Joe Stiglitz on CSNCalifornia.com. It's also available on iTunes. 7-3. The Orioles are leading the A's rubber game of this series. So the A's still have a little time, but they're going to have to get going. Chris Tillman stays out there. He has settled in. He's retired 5 in a row. He struck out the side in the 6th inning. So overall, pretty decent numbers. And the first inning was a rough one. He gave up 3 runs on 4 hits in the first inning, and the A's had a runner thrown out at home plate to end the inning. Brad Brock starts to throw. Simeon, Burns, and Kenna. There's a strike, 1-1 the count. Simeon has struck out twice. So he is 2 for 8 with a couple of walks in this series.
Even though Brock is warming up, and maybe Tillman batter to batter, who knows, but I think just the fact that he's over 100 pitches, and it's almost like Buck Showalter said, the first 20 some odd pitches threw in the first inning, just throw those away. Let's go from there, and because he has pitched better since the first. Sometimes the pitch count will get a pitcher out quicker than maybe he should be taken out, because he seemed to pitch better later. Tillman has made the adjustments to be able to pitch into the 7th inning.
Close pitch, and Simeon walks. So a good start for the A's here in the 7th. 4 walks now. Tillman, in his last start, which he went 7 innings, threw 110 pitches. That's a season high so far. Right now he's at 105. So now he will face the top of the order in Burns. Right there for a strike. Rays and Angels just getting underway. In Anaheim. Matt Moore for Tampa Bay and Nick Tropiano for the Angels. The Rays are going for the road sweep.
Played well last night. Got to Joe Smith late.
Angels scuffling. They have lost 6 out of 8. They're 13 and 17 on the year. So we will see the Rays next weekend in St. Petersburg. So if Matt Moore is pitching today, we'll probably see the left-hander.
Yeah, it gets the Rays. The A's are going to see, I think, a couple of lefties of the 3 games we could see. Odorizzi.
Maybe Smiley.
Smiley, I think those are the 2. Smiley and Moore. And then Odorizzi is the right-hander in between.
So 1-2 the count to Burns, who has singled and scored, hit a fly ball to left field, and grounded out to third. Curve, rolled foul, right past Ron Washington.
Way off the plate, but when your body is moving towards first base, which Billy Burns does, sometimes the pitch away is hard to determine, strike or not, and especially with a curveball. Fastball running away is a little bit easier.
Simeon with a good lead at first. And a breaking ball down and in, and Billy Burns strikes out. And Billy Burns does not strike out a lot. That is just the 9th time this year.
Well, this is the last batter for Chris Tillman, and I think he's looking away, and the ball came in and could not make contact to stay alive.
So when it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service. Your oil change, tune-up, and brake experts. Tillman leaves as the Orioles go to the bullpen.
70s classics on Grease Movie Fireworks Night, presented by Xfinity. Friday, May the 20th, which is Game 2 of the A's 4-game series against the New York Yankees. After the game, fans can watch the fireworks show from the outfield grass. As always, on-field capacity is limited. Get your tickets today at athletics.com/fireworks. First of 6 fireworks at the Coliseum, and it is a special night. The Yankees in town, their only trip to the Coliseum for 4-game series, and birthday of one Glenn Kuiper.
We'll have fun.
You cannot forget the birthday. We'll have fun. Taking that night off?
No. I spent my birthday with you, right?
Hey, you just want the 18. That's not true.
Good numbers for Brad Brock. In fact, Brad Brock has quietly become a huge part of a good Orioles bullpen. This is his 3rd year with the Orioles, and he's been good each and every year. There's the numbers for Tillman, 109 pitches. So we're going to watch the rest of this one.
4 walks, but he had 7 strikeouts, and striking out the side in the 5th inning. Up at the 6th inning.
And he jumps ahead of Canna, 0-2. Brad Brock was traded from the Padres to the Orioles in November of 2013. Well, last year, good ERA at 2.72, 89 strikeouts in 79 innings. And another strikeout there. 3 pitches, he strikes out Canna.
Another herky-jerky motion, and delivers a pretty good pitch. Fastball outside and up a little bit. Mark Canna, who has hit well in the opposite field, that time no contact on a pitch that just kept running away from him.
7 consecutive at-bats with a hit. The Athletics franchise record is 8. He's just tied it. And hustling around second is Simeon. He's going to go to 3rd. I don't even know what to say.
I just like the fact that 2 balls have been hit last night and today into a defense where normally a shift would make it an out. So maybe Josh Reddick, in his style of hitting, has just changed the whole defensive alignment, that opposing teams are saying he's using the whole field, we can't shift him, and now he's back to where he is. So that's
ties Dave Magany.
He's going to get maybe another at bat today, or maybe even break it at Fenway Park, his former home. Congratulations to Josh Reddick, who hit that well. You don't want to leave the park.
And Dave Magnan was the last guy to do that. He's not the only other guy to do it. That's something. So in this series, he's now 10 for 12. Right now, the A's need a big fly is what they need. We've watched the Orioles hit 5. The A's do not have a home run today. Softly hit toward 3rd. Flaherty will go across the diamond. Side retired. So Brock gets out of it. A hit and a walk for the A's, but they strand 2. We have reached the 7th inning stretch on Mother's Day. Camden Yards, 7-3 Orioles.
is brought to you by Toyota. It's Toyota time for big savings on legendary Toyota quality. Take a test drive today. Toyota, let's go places. And by Xfinity. X1 from Xfinity will change the way you experience TV.
Yeah, we got in-depth sports news for the Bay Area fan. Know it all with Sportsnet Central. It's coming up this evening at 6 and 10:30, and it's over on our sister station, CSN Bay Area. We'll have all the highlights from our game here at Camden Yards. Get you set for Warriors in Game 4. Warriors lost last night, and the Sharks, they're going to try to close things out their series against Nashville on Monday. Kelly Johnson and Henry Wolford will host.
Water taxi in the Inner Harbor.
Inner Harbor, yeah.
Water taxi. They'll get a lot of business today. It was raining on Friday, but they were still water taxi. But nobody in the taxi.
So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service. It's your oil change, tune-up, and brake experts. And we got a major league debut, folks. J.B. Wendelken just brought up. Came over to the A's in the Brett Laurie trade over the winter. Big right-hander. Is on a big league mound for the first time. So congratulations to Jeffrey Benjamin Wendelken.
How about this? You get fireworks on your birthday, and Wendelken makes his major league debut with pink shoes, and it's got all kinds of pink stuff.
It's good to be with the Athletics, man.
Yeah.
You know that.
Just look at all this. Hey, they're both college the same as Josh Reddick, and you ask Josh Reddick, he knows exactly about Wendelken. He knew about him during spring training, and come from Georgia, you know, and all things good for Josh Reddick, and Wendelken probably very happy that Reddick, maybe he's rubbing up against him for some good luck, because Josh has been hot.
And the first pitch Wendelken throws as a big leaguer is ripped into left field for a base hit by Adam Jones.
David Vogt did not have the opportunity to catch the first pitch and throw it out as his first major league pitch. This one, a hard sinker down and in, and Adam Jones got it before he hit his right kneecap. It was hit hard into left field for his first hit of the game. Seminal pitch thrown in the first inning, which looked exciting, was a ground ball to short for a 6-4-3 double play.
So here's Trumbo. First pitch up and in. Wendelken, 6 foot, 220 pounder. He's 23 years of age. His 5th year in professional baseball. First time as a big league. I believe he just got here this morning. Is that correct?
Yeah, right.
So Mickey was trying to get him here as quick as he could. Inside with a fastball at 92 miles an hour. So 2-1 the count with Matt Wieters in the on-deck circle. Sinker, maybe a changeup, and that's pretty good tape. Jones is leaning, not running, and the ball's popped up. So he went right back to the changeup, and Alonso has it. So back-to-back changeups, Ray. How do you like that?
I like it. I like it a lot. And Stephen Vogt, of course, Wendelken's going with his catcher and put down the fingers and throw the pitch. And he's got a good one. It's like a palm ball coming out of his hand. It's been a good time to let the ball drop on the infield grass and force Jones at second.
You were thinking that, weren't you?
Yes, I was. I mean, soft landing. Saw Ian Kinsler do it. Thought it was a thing of beauty.
So with 1 out, Wieters steps in. Wieters swings and misses. Wieters is 0 for 3. Strikeout, fly out, ground out for Wieters. He hits one high and foul into the upper deck. Wendelken jumps ahead 0-2. Nice block by Stephen Vogt, keeps it right in front of him.
Stephen Vogt might have seen with Wendelken in spring training, but it is always tough trying to figure out what he throws, how he throws it, and in this case, a good block with the ball in the dirt.
Wieters swings and misses, and that's a strikeout. So first major league strikeout for A.B. Wendelken, and it's another changeup. Right?
Great changeup. You can see how he throws it and why it's so effective. And not surprised to see an excellent changeup. That ball just floats in, has a nice tailing action away from the left-hander.
So 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Wendelken will now face Pedro Alvarez. Throws it again. Ray, you're a fan of back-to-back-to-back pitches,
right,
if you have to, if it's working.
Hitters just never believe you're going to continue to throw the changeup.
Throw another one.
Especially if it comes out of the hand like a fastball. They just keep looking fastball, keep getting the changeup.
There it is again. Now, so your point is, why wouldn't you throw it again?
Thank you. I agree. Because Alvarez said he's not going to throw me another changeup. And the great thing about Wendelken is the fact that it comes out like he's throwing a fastball. So pull the string again, probably get another swing and miss.
And he did throw it again, and it's grounded to Coghlan. Coghlan to first, side retired. So nice job by J.B. Wendelken. His major league debut. He gets a strikeout, gives up a run. Nice job by the young man. 7-3 after 7.
Friday family pack. You get 4 Plaza level tickets, 4 Coliseum hot dogs, 4 medium sodas, 4 bags of peanuts, and it's just $60 at every Friday home game. Buy now at athletics.com/family pack. Subject to availability. A's on the road this next week, and we'll be back home against the Hot Rangers and the New York Yankees. A week from Monday back at the Coliseum.
That's a 4-game series, right, against the Yankees.
Right.
That's a good homestand.
Yeah, finally see the Rangers.
Stephen Vogt slashes one foul. Vogt is 0 for 3 facing Brad Brock. Brock came in and Had a couple of outs, gave up a hit to Reddick. Reddick's just going to get a hit every time anyway, so.
Got a souvenir and kissed Cam at the same time.
That's nice.
43,000 plus today. What is it, Chuck?
690.
690.
Hit well to left center, and it is going to be tracked down by Rickard. He's had himself a nice ball game. Joey Rickard showing a lot of range in left field. He went a long way.
Well, his speed helps tremendously. We've seen him on the base paths and definitely have seen him rob a couple. Stephen Vogt again, small slicing back just enough for the left-hander, but great route taken by Rickard to get to it and pulled it in at the warning track. Took a pick to see how close he was to the warning track before banging against the wall. But a nice play by the outfielder. He said he's a real 5.
Yeah.
He's got a home.
Tampa Bay.
Yeah. Well, we're going to see Kiermaier next weekend. He's all over the outfield.
Valencia swings and misses. Valencia's 2 for 3. Couple of singles. Infield hit that knocked in a run back in the first inning. Things were good then. The A's scored 3 in the first to take a 3-0 lead.
It's amazing how exciting you can get the beginning of a game and think, well, it's going to be a good day, and then all of a sudden the A's have done nothing since. As a matter of fact, only 3 hits after the 4-hit, 3-run first inning.
That's where that shutdown inning comes into play, even if it's early in the game.
Absolutely.
Valencia, another foul ball. Brad Brock doesn't mess around. It comes right at you. Some good A's fans with their rally caps on. Slider got it. 8 strikeouts for Orioles pitchers in this ball game.
Yeah, well, hard slider just running away. Danny Valencia. Watch the midsection. He opened up, and boy, it's tough to reach an outside slider, maybe even off the plate when your front side is opening up, thinking pull.
So 2 outs for Alonso. Alonso doubled in a run in the first, then lined out in the 4th, struck out in the 6th. Starting to see a lot better swings from Yonder Alonso. That's a good sign. He really struggled early on.
Well, he was telling us after the walk-off against the Astros, and Darren Bush, his hitting coach, made an important point that we talked about, and that is seeing the results on the field. Cage hitting is great, but seeing the production on the field when you hit a ball and you say that's a home run, it's tough to see it in the batting cage. You know, you say I hit it great.
You can imagine.
Yeah. What's the result of that ball that I just hit? Not in the back of the cage. So he came out on the field at the Coliseum and saw some excellent results.
1-2. That Brock not messing around. One-two pitch. Alonso lays off. Texas Rangers scored 7 runs in the 7th inning, and they now lead Detroit 7-2, going for the sweep. They were trailing 2-0. Bobby Wilson hit a grand slam, the backup catcher. So
did you say Verlander started that game?
Verlander started, pitched great. He left and
should have completed it.
Yeah.
There are times that starters dominate and you can't wait to get the bullpen. All the bullpens are so good now. You think just the opposite, but evidently the Rangers like the change of pitchers coming in out of the pen for the Tigers.
Rolled toward first. Chris Davis stays with it, and Brad Brock has a 3-up, 3-down top of the 8th inning. Bottom of the 8th coming up. The Orioles leading the A's 7-3. Brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. 3-7-0 for the A's, 7-9-0 for the Orioles. And the Orioles, it's all about the long ball today. They have hit 5 home runs. They knocked Kendall Graveman out in the 3rd inning. Josh Reddick is scalding hot right now. Chris Tillman pitched into the 7th inning. So the Orioles now with 42 home runs after their 5 long balls today. Bottom of the 8th, A's trailing 7-3.
Wow, even pink baseball.
Everything's pink today.
Commissioner Manfred with his signature on pink baseball for Mother's Day. Pep, I'm looking at the A's. If they get 2 on, Josh Reddick hits again in the 9th inning.
Yeah, that could happen.
The 8-9, 1-2-3. So need to have some success in the 9th inning.
1-1 the count. J.B. Wendelken back out there. He was impressive in the 7th inning, talking a lot about his changeup, which he just kept throwing. And there's a shot headed toward the gap in right center. Reddick is able to get over there and cut it off. Scope will stop at first. Scope has 3 hits today.
And that's how the inning started against Wendelken. And Jones with a hard hit ball, his first pitch thrown. This one elevated, and Scope goes the opposite way. Pulled the ball in the seats in left field, and that one, like his previous hit, to right field for base hits. All right, bring out the changeup. You got these lefties coming up.
First one is Flaherty.
Actually, righties to follow because Ricker just remembered he's a left-handed thrower, but right-handed hitter, a la Ricky Henderson.
Darren O'Day is up. Could be O'Day who has pitched the 9th inning for the Orioles. Not a save situation. Flaherty is 0 for 3. He's grounded out twice and he has struck out. 10 hits now for the Orioles. A's have 7. There's that changeup down and away. Jake Arrieta is pitching today for the Cubs at home. He's trying to go to 7-0. But right now, the Washington Nationals are leading Jake Arrieta in the Cubs 3-1. The game is in the bottom of the 5th inning. It's a big deal if Arrieta gives up a run. Chris Sale is 7-0. Arrieta trying to get there as well.
Amazing what 2 players could mean the difference to the Chicago White Sox. And that would be Brett Lawrie and Todd Frazier, 2 guys that we saw in Oakland the first 4 games of the regular season. They were playing well, a lot of energy, something that Robin Ventura's team never had.
Yeah, they added Austin Jackson late, shore up the defense. Maybe Jimmy Rollins has had an effect.
He's had an effect, the better.
Matt Latos has pitched well for the White Sox. White Sox 21-10. Runner goes, pitches low, throw to second base is high. Simeon gets his glove on. Scope with a stolen base. Actually, it was ball 4, so it doesn't matter. Vogt threw it down.
And there's a case where maybe Tim Timmons was unsure whether it was a strike or not, or maybe Stephen Vogt thought it was a strike because that ball almost went into center field. That was too low, and Stephen, if the count 3-2, which it was, then should never have thrown the ball. Something you rarely see. The home plate umpire Tim Timmons asked Rickert, the hitter, to put his pants pocket in, because the pocket, as it's out when you pull your batting gloves out, if it extends, it's part of the uniform. It could be hit, you never feel it, but it's part of the uniform. So he actually said, put your your pockets in. Look like a pro. Plus, I don't want to have a ball hit those pockets. I have to give you first base.
Rickard 1 for 3 with a homer, his 3rd home run of the year. And he went around. Remember last year the Orioles got Gerardo Parra in a trade. They decided not to keep him as he went to free agency. Parra signed with the Colorado Rockies.
Brings the point that the Royals wanted Ben Zobrist. He helped them win the World Series. They gave up Sean Manaea, who's in the big league. Zobrist signed a free agent contract with the Cubs. But teams are willing to do that to help them finish the deal. So hard to get to and win the World Series.
Yeah. To me, if you win the World Series,
it's worth it.
I mean, it's not even a question.
Exactly.
It's perfect. That's exactly what you did for.
And it
if
helped.
you trade for 5 guys and win the World Series and then lose all 5 of them, free agency, doesn't matter.
I agree. If you win it, because it's so hard to win the World Series.
And you think of how winning a World Series changes an organization.
Wow. Yeah.
The Royals got close, and then they win it.
And now they're selling out every game.
Exactly.
Yeah. And a lot of pressure. Actually, probably less pressure because they're not expected to win the Central this year. At least they predicted them or pointed them to be in the lower part of the standings. But the World Championship is huge, especially not one since '85 in the case of the Royals.
Royals this year sitting only at 500. They lost today in Cleveland 5-4. So they're 15-15.
Those Indians fans, 48 was a nice time. And even the Cubs, those people have to be thinking, wow, maybe this is the year. 1908, 2016.
So now it's a full count. 2 on, nobody out. Orioles with a 4-run lead. Runners are not going. It's a line drive, base hit left field. Here comes Scope, and they're going to hold him up. Canna gets it in. So the bases are loaded. Nobody out for Manny Machado.
Yeah, I hate to say it, one of the impressive things about the right-handed hitters of the Orioles today, they have handled the inside fastballs for right-handers, right-handed hitters, right-handed pitchers, and watch him pull the hands as that pitch inside. And maybe not as far inside as he wanted, but still, we saw Trumbull do it, hit a home run. Jones did it against Duncan. A lot of times, you either foul the ball off your foot, pull it foul. These guys seem to be getting hits. So a leadoff single last inning. He got the next 3. Leadoff single this inning, a walk and a single. Bases loaded with a pretty good hitter coming up.
So big trouble here for Wendelken. Machado has homered, grounded out, struck out, and walked. Here's your runner. Scope at 3rd, Flaherty at 2nd, Rickard is at 1st. And there's the changeup. I mean, it was a dandy. 1-1.
Well, this ball approaches, and Manny Machado wants to drive in runs, so I don't think he's up here to take.
Just got a piece of it. Now 1-2. Pitch runs inside. That was a changeup. Kind of squirted out of the hand of Dalton. Chris Davis to follow. Nobody out. So now full count. No place to put him, obviously. Three-two pitch. Here it is. And it's driven to left center and deep. And it is gone. Grand slam, Manny Machado. So Machado finishes off a two-homer game with his third career grand slam, and that pitch was up, out over the plate, and it said hit me.
Hit one to right center. This from the big boy to left center with the bases loaded, and I think what we saw there, pitch it might have been a little bit up, but he was going to be swinging. He was going to swing hard, knowing that he's going to get a fastball after a lot of changeups. And Manny Machado, 9 home runs, 26, look at 22 driven in now. Well, it sounded like a great home run.
So the huge crowd. Well, it's a curtain call, and they get one from Manny Machado, a career high 6 RBIs today for Machado.
Looking at the highlights from last night's game in Milwaukee, Aaron Hill. Brewers hit 3 home runs, including the capper, a grand slam. Tied the game and then hit a grand slam to put the Brewers ahead.
How about that? Begley ran out to the bullpen, but not to catch. With the score 11-3.
Well, this says a lot about Bob Melvin. No manager likes to do it. But Bob Melvin had to go to this pen in the 3rd inning. And he doesn't want to use Madsen, Axford, Doolittle's already pitched yesterday, and you just don't want to use these guys, and you don't like to resort to a position player, but sometimes you have to, and this is kind of a problem that the A's have had or have had with the bullpen as a result of all these things.
Well, and too, Ray, with Wendelken, who this is not call him up one day, send him back. I mean, he's part of the bullpen right now, and he's thrown 40 pitches.
Exactly.
So he's not going to be available tomorrow. So 3-2 to Chris Davis.
And Adam Jones might be the one that he comes into face. This is a lefty, and I agree with you with the pitch count for Wendelken that you want to blow him out. He's going to be probably not available for at least a day or two in Boston. Relievers just aren't accustomed to throwing this many pitches.
And Davis takes it right there with a changeup, strike 3 call.
And here comes Bob Melvin, and it's like he's going to have a catcher throw to a catcher.
So 42 pitches for Wendelken. So when it's time for a change, think Speedy Change and Auto Service, your oil change, tune-up, and brake experts. We got a catcher coming in to pitch. 11-3 Orioles. When this day started, I don't think Josh Phegley thought he would be standing on the pitcher's mound unless it was for a pitcher meeting. But he is standing out there, and he's gonna pitch. He needs to get 2 outs.
Well, he can throw. He's got a very, very strong arm. And if I were him, I would say, I'm going to just wind up. I'm not going to pitch out of the stretch, because you're kind of saying you're going to get somebody on base. Maybe as a reliever he'll start out of the stretch, but I'd wind up.
So this is the 10th time in Oakland A's history that a position player's pitched. Ike Davis did it last year. He was impressive.
He was a pitcher in college.
That's right. Watching Phegley warm up, he looks good.
Yeah, he doesn't know to pitch out of the windup or the stretch. Nobody's on base, so you go out of the windup. But he can throw hard. Just does not want to hurt himself. That's the main thing.
And he faces Adam Jones. You know who's going to enjoy this? Phegley and Stephen Vogt.
That's right.
As their buddies. And the first pitch is in for a strike, 86 miles an hour. They'll laugh about this a couple years from now.
Slider.
And a good one. Nice tight little slider.
You know, I'm seeing the number 19. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Hall of Famer late Bob Feller wore number 19. So you got, I mean, look at this motion.
That's solid.
Looks like Bartolo Colon. He hit a home run last night. He's first in 242 plate appearances, age 42.
Yes, he did. And the dugout emptied.
Yeah.
So 2-2 now, 88 miles an hour. That one had a little cut to it from Phegley. Not a good day for the A's pitching staff. That one spins inside, so now it's 3-2.
Well, you talk about Phegley and Vogt like this. Hitters don't like it, because you think you're facing another position player. You want to get a hit. You want to do something. Trying your best.
Adam Jones today is 1 for 4. He singled in the 7th inning. And the pitch is high, but Jones went after it. So Phegley gets a strikeout. Adam Jones will head back to the dugout.
And he threw the ball in to authenticate. He's saying Josh Phegley, first hitter, K. This was, I'm going to gear up and try to make contact, and he started trying to hold up his swing and didn't. And so Josh Phegley, some spin on that ball.
So here's Trumbo.
Adam Jones got said, my season's going bad enough as it is, and I got to face a position player. Sean Doodle liked it.
Trumbo has had a big game. He's got a single, a triple, and a homer. He needs a double for the cycle. Pops it up left side of the diamond. And Simeon makes the catch.
And if he drops the ball, he's got the double.
That's right.
Because he was hustling.
Nice job by Josh Phegley. And a grand slam by Manny Machado here in the bottom of the 8th has blown this game open. It's 11-3 Orioles.
TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, delivers everything you have come to expect and more. Watch every out-of-market game live in HD on over 400 supported devices. Includes a free subscription to At Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Live blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details.
Booked barbecue, Ray.
Oh, it looks good, doesn't it?
Does look good. Working hard out there. Orioles 11, A's 3. And the new pitcher is Vance Worley. A couple of starts this year and 4 relief appearances for Vance Worley from Sacramento. Coughlin goes after the first pitch and lofts it toward left field. Rickard is under. So 1 pitch, 1 out here in the 9th inning.
2011 at Philadelphia, Bob Melvin had just taken over the club. Guillermo Moscoso, and he went head-to-head.
Pitched great.
It's a 1-0 game. I know you remember that Ben Francisco pinched hit. 9th inning, runner at third. Because Bob Melvin was new, he did not know, is Ben Francisco going to bunt? Is he not going to bunt?
Right. Did he bounce it over the third baseman's head?
Had Sizemore playing even with the bag, and he bounced the ball over his head for the game winner tonight for that. 1-0, and that was it.
And Vance Worley started that game.
He did start it. He went 6 innings, 1 hit, 4 walks, 4 strikeouts.
Well, at that time, Vance Worley was very highly thought of. I mean, in 2011, he was 11-3. For the Phillies, and they thought they had a young starter for a while. What a play by Flaherty. Throws across, and Simeon is out. So 2 outs here in the 9th inning. And now the top of the order and Billy Burns.
It was one of those things. I remember talking to Charlie Manuel, who was managing the Phillies the next day. I said, Charlie, Ben Francisco ever bunt? And he goes, no. But nobody knew. Nobody knew. So it's like a flip of the coin, and Bob Melvin had just taken over the club and made that decision. He said, it's all on me. Of course, that was Bob Melvin from the beginning in 2011. Won the division 12-13, postseason 14.
Hit high and foul down the left field line. Yeah, but since that season, Worley has bounced around. Got traded to the Twins. In the last couple years with Pittsburgh, and the Orioles claimed him off the waivers in October this past offseason. And he's trying to get the final out and trying to get the Orioles a series win. And Burns grounds it to Scope. He backhands, drops it, throws, and it's not in time. Once he dropped it, Burns is going to be aboard. So we'll see what the ruling is. Orioles have not made an error in this series until right now. It is an error.
Well, you know, as you said, and we all agree, that try to backhand and set yourself up to throw, especially with a fast base runner, and it just hit in the pocket using a small glove. Probably did not close it quickly enough. Clanked out. And keeps the inning alive, gets Billy Butler a base hit, and if he can get on, we have Josh Reddick going for the record.
First pitch to Butler is a little bit low. Butler hitting for Canna.
Down in the clubhouse, of course, Adam Roden, the video coordinator for the Athletics, has all the video, everything you want to watch on your swings, pitchers that are pitching against you, and how you going to deal with them.
Right field. Trumbo's there. And that's the ball game. So the Orioles haul out the big sticks this afternoon. They hit 6 home runs, and that is just too much for the Athletics. So this weekend series with the doubleheader yesterday goes to the Baltimore Orioles. Today's game was played in 2 hours and 59 minutes. Big crowd, 43,690 witnessed it here at Camden Yards. So the Baltimore Orioles beat the Athletics this afternoon. The final score, 11-3. You've been watching Oakland A's baseball on CSN California. It's part of the NBC Sports Group.